While assessments of damages continue by several government agencies following the passage of Tropical Storm Grace, in the interim and in the interest of the public, members of the PAT government have agreed to approve funds to assist with the cleanup efforts in the various constituencies, to provide funds to assist with necessary housing repairs, and to provide funds and services to farmers that have been adversely affected. The approved funding was agreed upon during an emergency meeting Wednesday. We heard on Thursday from Premier the Honourable Wayne Panton asking home and business owners to do their part in helping with the recovery efforts.
If possible to save plant life, I would urge you to do so. I know of many mango, pear and neem trees that look like a total loss after Hurricane Ivan, but were pruned and re-established, that became lush and bore much fruit. It is much easier to build upon that which we have than to start from scratch. If you have waste vegetation, we are asking that you take the remnants of downed trees, vegetation, and green waste to the following areas.
Those following areas are the area across the dock at Old Man Bay and North Side, the East End Civic Centre, the Crown property on Anton Bodden Road near Lookout Gardens. Other drop-off sites include the NRA stockpile site on Poindexter Road near Prospect Primary School, West Bay Stadium, the Georgetown landfill, and landfills on Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. While folks are cleaning up across the island, a few notes from the Department of Environmental Health. Always separate debris from household garbage after a storm. Debris includes roofing materials, downed tree branches, and metals. All item of debris must be placed in separate piles to the front of the property or at the side that is easily accessible to collection trucks. Debris must be placed in a location that will not cause obstruction to roadways or come in contact with electrical lines. As of 4 p.m. Friday, Caribbean Utilities Company Limited CUC says 600 customers are still without power. Since Wednesday evening, CUC crews and contractors have been working 16-hour shifts in an effort to restore electricity to all customers. There are still some pockets of outages resulting from fallen trees on poles and other damage, and the necessary repairs continue to be carried out. Crews are currently working in the large outage areas of East End and Omega Bay and are preparing to move into the Beach Bay area. CUC says it is anticipated that power will be restored to those areas tonight. If you are still without power after midnight, leave a message on the outage hotline at 945-1282, which is being monitored by the CUC team. And speaking of power outage, the loss of power may have affected the foods in your fridge, so make sure to be extra careful when you reach for that snack. Details from Radio Cayman's Dion Anglin.
The Department of Environmental Health is urging residents to exercise caution when handling and preparing foods after the passage of Tropical Storm Grace. The DEH says, quote, extreme vigilance is necessary at this time as food quality can become compromised as a result of flooding or loss of power. The best ways to stay safe are to practice basic sanitation, ensure that utensils used for food preparation are clean and safe, discard the food items if they have come into contact with flood water, avoid raw fruits and vegetables, discard perishable food items that have been stored at room temperature for more than 4 hours, cook food thoroughly, and if you are preparing food, make sure all small cuts and abrasions are covered with a waterproof bandage. For additional information about food safety, email the DEH at dehcustomerservice@gov.ky or call the administrative office at 949-6696. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Dion Anglin.
On Wednesday, Police Helicopter X-Ray 1 carried out an aerial assessment to identify anyone who may have been in distress and assess damage caused by Tropical Storm Grace. A number of images were captured that demonstrate the high seas, destruction of vegetation, and flooding caused across Grand Cayman. Head of RCIPS Air Operations, Steve Fitzgerald, says, while extensive flooding and infrastructure issues were seen across the island, we were pleased to be able to provide reports to help towards the all-clear being issued. And while there was damage reported in the sister islands, by all accounts, they dodged the Grace bullet. More from CIGTV's Donna Bush.
Over on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, residents there prepared for the worst, but was spared with 35 to 40 mile per hour winds. Miguel Martin, manager of the Charles Colonel Airport, had this to say to residents ahead of what is forecasted to be a busy hurricane season.
Definitely monitor trusted weather services, the Cayman Island National Weather Service, NOAA. They're the sites we use. I don't, recommend ending every site because the internet has a lot of information. Some trustworthy and some not so trustworthy. So stick to the National Weather Service and monitor. And as you mentioned, get prepared and be prepared. The hurricane season is here, so be prepared.
As cleanup and recovery from the passage of Tropical Storm Grace remains underway, the National Roads Authority has provided some road safety tips for drivers. You can find those tips online on the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well.
That's CIGTV's Donna Bush reporting there. More British Airways flights have been confirmed, this in response to an increased demand for travel to and from the UK for education purposes. Cayman Airways Limited CAL says the 2 additional BA flights depart London Heathrow on September 1st and 15th respectively and return the following days, effectively doubling the number of return flights during September. British Airways have confirmed that seats on these flights will be on sale via their website from today. While the country continues with the phased border reopening, inbound travelers are reminded to visit Travel Cayman and complete the online form prior to their arrival on island. You can direct all your questions and concerns pertaining to inbound travel to Travel Cayman by emailing travelcayman@gov.ky or calling 743-8463 between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. The Coast Guard is asking boaters to be on the lookout. All vessels transiting the North Sound area are being asked to keep a sharp lookout for debris in the water as a result of the recent passage of Grace, especially near the Holiday Inn Resort, as parts of a jetty has been detached and were last seen drifting out into the North Sound. In the event debris or objects that are hazardous to navigation are sighted, you can contact the Operation Coordination Center on VHF 16 or 936-6722. The Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park took a big hit from Tropical Storm Grace. The once lush gardens are dealing with loss of many flora, and the park now calls on the community for help. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins reports.
The Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park sustained substantial property damage, and now its administrative body, the Tourism Attraction Board, seeks assistance to clean up the debris. The Cayman Islands Regiment already made its way to the park this morning to help. Large trees were uprooted, many snapped in half. One tore down power lines, so the park also has no electricity. After a complete assessment, Botanic Park Manager John Loris says that without a significant amount of manpower and assistance with equipment, the cleanup could take weeks.
The Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park suffered some major losses and destruction of our nursery facility due to the passing of Tropical Storm Grace. We will be closed until further notice, and once the Botanic Park is cleared and safe for visitors, we will advise the public on all media outlets and our social media. We look forward to your continued support, and if you would like to support us, please call 949-6999 or manager@botanic-park.ky. Thank you.
With much to be repaired and cleared away island-wide, they are aware public sector resources may be spread thin at this time. The nonprofit entity, the park, is already struggling to raise funds to continue the development of the children's garden, and the damage and debris left may cost the park thousands to rectify. Mr. Loris adds equipment like chainsaws, a dump truck, a backhoe, and garbage skips are needed, and any manpower that can be spared. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
And finally, in the news for this hour, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports 5 positive test results in travelers. This from the batch of 620 COVID-19 tests carried out on Thursday. To date, 99,790 COVID-19 vaccinations have been given in the Cayman Islands. Of these, 72% of Cayman's population have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 69% have completed a 2-dose course. That is your latest local news. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm Shanda Gallego.